let's price out every single vintage Star Wars action figure ever made and what they're worth today. So if you collect these and want to know how much your collection is worth, or just curious to know how crazy some of these prices can get, then let's go. There are a total of 21 action figures from the Star Wars movie made in 1977. And I'm also going to take you through a few of the variants that are the most popular. And I'm going to go in order of when each figure was released. And honestly, this was a hard video to do, and I had to redo it twice. I got some prices wrong, so I had to reach out to some very seasoned collectors to help me. Not on the more common figures like the Death Squad Commander, but on those grail pieces that, in some cases, I will never see or touch in my lifetime. So let's see what the first 3 waves of Star Wars action figures cost in 2024. Starting with Luke Skywalker, first released in 1978 in the early bird set. He would make his cardback debut in 1978 on the Star Wars 12A cardbacks. The number 12 refers to how many action figures are pictured on the back, and the letter A lets us know that this was the first cardback of Luke in the 12 series. Carded, it can go for around $10,000 to $20,000 ungraded, depending on a good to great condition card and bubble. Loose, that can go for $1,000 in good condition today. This was because it first came with the double telescoping lightsaber. But the single telescoping version loose, that's much more affordable, and one in good condition will cost you around $100. There are a few variants of Luke in his hair color, and one in particular, the orange hair Toll Toys Australian Luke, is sought after by collectors. And some of these loose figures in great condition have sold for as much as $3,000. Princess Leia Organa was also first released in the early bird set in 1978 and would get her cardback debut that same year on the Star Wars 12A cardbacks. She comes with a dark blue-black Leia blaster and a white vinyl cape. Her debut card goes for about $1,100 ungraded and in good condition, and a loose version in great condition will run you around $130. The prices in this video have been researched and averaged on sites like Facebook, eBay, and on various accredited auction sites. Doing that research takes time and resources, so to support this channel, visit the links in the description of this video. Join this channel as a member or support me at patreon.com/thepadawancollector. Your generous support keeps this channel making content, so thank you. And now back to the video. R2-D2 was first released in the 1978 early bird set and made his cardback debut that same year on the 12A cardbacks. This figure comes with no accessories, and the artwork around the body of R2 is a sticker made of paper. Today, the 12A cardback in good condition goes for about $900, and a loose version in great condition will cost around $50. The final figure to get released in the 1978 early bird set was Chewbacca, and made his cardback debut on the 12A cardbacks. He comes with his blue-black bowcaster. His debut card in good condition will run you about $800 ungraded, and a loose figure in good condition will cost about $30. And if you're wondering what the early bird set will cost you, in 2022, a complete set graded at 80 sold for over $15,000. If you can have the luck to find a set ungraded and in good condition, expect to pay about $5,000. C-3PO made his cardback debut in 1978 on the 12A cardbacks and comes with no accessories. Major variants come in the Japanese Takara variant, which has a different body and face mold. The US cardback debut will cost you $800 on average for a good example, and loose, this will cost you about $25 for a good version with tight limbs, as some of these will become like a rag doll, making the price go way down. Darth Vader made his cardback debut in 1978 on the 12A cardbacks, and first came with a double telescoping red saber and black vinyl cape. His debut card with the double telescoping saber will cost you anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 ungraded, since those are very hard to find in good or great condition and is downright rare. That same figure loose will cost around $3,000 to $4,000. And a loose single telescoping version in good condition is more affordable at $65. Stormtrooper made its debut on the Star Wars 12A cardbacks in 1978, and the name would change in 1985 to Imperial Stormtrooper for the Power of the Force cardbacks. This figure comes with the blue-black Imperial Blaster. Prices for the debut card will run you around $1,000 in good condition today, and loose will cost you about $45 for a good example. And fun fact, the Japanese Takara version comes with no peg holes on the bottom of its feet. Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi made his cardback debut on the 12A cardbacks in 1978 and was the last figure to have a double telescoping figure. Later that year, the lightsaber would be changed to the single telescoping lightsaber for the fall. Ben comes with a blue saber and a brown vinyl cape. His debut card with the double telescoping saber will cost you around $50,000 to $100,000, and those are very rare to find in good or great condition, ungraded. And that same figure loose will cost around $4,000 to $5,000 in excellent condition. His more affordable single telescoping loose figure will cost around $50, and there are two main variants besides the different sabers, a white hair version and a gray hair version. Han Solo made his cardback debut in 1978 on the 12A cardbacks and came with a blue-black Rebel Blaster. The first version came with a small head. Later that fall, it would be changed to a bigger head on the 12C cardbacks, although some versions of the small head Han would make it on Empire Strikes Back cardbacks. Han's debut card in today's prices will cost you around $800 for a good example. And a loose version will run about $70 for the small head and $40 for the big head variant. Which one is your favorite? The Jawa made its debut on the 12A cardbacks in 1978 and first came with the brown vinyl cape and a Jawa blaster. But by the fall of 1978 and on the 12B cardbacks, the vinyl cape was changed to a cloth cape. The vinyl cape Jawa has become a collector favorite, but other sought-after variants include the Mexican Lily Letty removable hood version and the Australian Toll Toys off-color limbs variant. The debut card will run you prices of around $15,000 to $20,000 ungraded and in good condition, and loose it will cost you around $1,800 complete and in good condition. The more affordable cloth cape variant will cost you around $60 for a complete example in good condition. Sand People made its debut in 1978 on the 12A Kenner cards and comes with a tan vinyl cape and a gaffy stick. In 1983, the name would change to Tusken Raider for the Return of the Jedi cards. The figure mold would also change. On the first iteration of the Sand People, it had solid face tusks. On the new Tusken Raider face tusks, they would be hollow. This Tusken Raider version is highly sought after. Loose versions can cost around $400 for a version in good condition. The debut card runs about $700 in good condition. And loose, the common version can cost around $40 for a complete version in good condition. The Death Squad Commander made its cardback debut in 1978 on the 12A cardbacks and comes with the blue-black Imperial Blaster. The name would change in 1980 to Star Destroyer Commander for the Empire Strikes Back line of toys. The debut card will cost around $400 today in good condition, and a loose action figure will cost around $30 for one in good complete condition. Greedo debuted in 1978 on Wave 2 of the Star Wars line of toys on the 20B cardbacks and comes with the blue-black Rebel Blaster. Greedo would also be available in the Cantina Adventure set from Sears in 1978. His debut card will cost around $700 today for versions in good condition, and loose will run around $30 for a complete version in good condition. Hammerhead would debut in 1978 in Wave 2 of the Star Wars figures on the 20B cardbacks and comes with the blue-black Imperial Blaster. He would also be available in the Cantina Adventure set from Sears. The debut card will cost around $800 for a good example, and loose will be $30 for a complete version in good condition. Snaggletooth made its debut in the Cantina Adventure set in 1978 and came with a blue-black Rebel Blaster. This version was tall and had a blue spacesuit with silver space boots. This figure was quickly replaced with the red short version for its cardback debut in 1978 for the 20B cardbacks on Wave 2. The blue version would never get a cardback release, and the blue version loose will cost you around $600 in the toe dent version and $400 in the no toe dent version. The debut cardback for the red Snaggletooth costs around $800 in good condition and loose around $30 for a complete version in good condition. Walrus Man made his cardback debut in 1978 on the 20B cardbacks in Wave 2 of the Star Wars toy line and comes with a blue-black Rebel Blaster. He also was available in the Sears Cantina Adventure Set. The debut card costs about $700 today in good condition. And loose, it can cost $40 for versions in excellent condition, especially when the paint on its mouth is perfect. Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot was my first action figure that I ever owned as a kid. This figure made its debut on the Wave 2 20B cardbacks in 1978 and comes with a blue-black Rebel Blaster. The debut card will cost around $700 today, and loose will cost around $40 for good complete examples that have all the paint applications still intact. R5-D4 was released in Wave 2 of the Star Wars figures on the 28 cardbacks and comes with no accessories. He has a paper sticker applied to the body. A major variant is the red bar version that places a red bar on its top right area, where the common version has this filled in white. The red bar variant goes for $600 for loose versions in good condition. The debut card goes for around $600 in good condition for the common variant and $2,000 to $3,000 for the red bar version. The common version loose goes for prices around $40 for good examples. The Death Star droid was first released in 1978 in Wave 2 of the Star Wars figures on the 28 cardbacks and comes with no accessories. Collectors should be sure that the black paint apps on this figure are not rubbed off and that the joints are nice and tight to consider this figure mint. The debut card can run around $600, and loose examples can run $40 for excellent versions. The Power Droid made its debut in Wave 2 of the Star Wars figures on the 20B cardbacks and comes with no accessories, only sticker applications on its body. There is a main variant called the Short V variant, where this area is different than the common version. Its debut card will run around $700 for versions in good condition, and loose will cost $30 for examples in great condition. Boba Fett was first released as a mail-away figure in 1979 and was officially released on cardback in 1979 on the third wave of the Star Wars figures on the Star Wars 21A cardbacks and comes with the blue-black Imperial Blaster. The most famous variant was the never-released rocket-firing Boba Fett, which just sold at auction for $1.3 million. There's also the Mexican Lily Letty version that comes with the removable rocket and the Tri-Logo variant that is lighter in color. All are sought after by collectors. The debut card will run you prices at $4,000 for examples in good condition, and for the common Hong Kong version in great complete condition will cost around $70. The Empire Strikes Back action figures are near and dear to my heart because in 1980, I was a 4-year-old. And these were the first toys that I remember playing with and seeing in the toy aisles of Toys R Us. There were 29 action figures that were released in 6 waves from 1980 to 1982. All of the action figures I'm mentioning were from the US Kenner releases. Starting with Leia Organa Bespin Gown, first released in 1980 on Wave 1 of the 31B Kenner cardbacks. The number 31 refers to how many action figures are printed on the back of the card, and the letter B lets us know that this is the second iteration on the card art in the 31 series. Her name would change to Princess Leia Organa Bespin Gown in the Return of the Jedi cardbacks. Kenner would continue the use of vinyl capes for the Empire Strikes Back figures, and on this version of Leia, it comes with a highly decorated vinyl cape that has many variations in her set. She either comes with a blue Leia blaster or a dark blue-black Leia blaster. Either pairings are correct. Her body mold has a lot of variants, and there are collectors who have Leia Bespin focuses because of this. Like I said, there are many variations of the pattern in her vinyl cape, but her neck area and her hair color are the other two to focus on. I did a video just about this action figure, and there is a lot to cover, so if you want to check that out, please do. Her debut card in today's prices is going for $340 in good condition, and her loose common Hong Kong figure is going for prices around $70 for a complete version in great condition. FX7 Medical Droid was first released in 1980 on Wave 1 on the 31A cardbacks And this was one of my favorite figures as a kid because of how different it is. Its head pops up and swivels. Its arms pop out, and its surgical arm can swivel as well. Other than that, this comes with no accessories. Its name would change to simply FX7 on the Return of the Jedi card backs, and its debut card goes for prices around $380 in good condition, and loose you can pick up great looking figures for $15. Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth Battle Gear was released in 1980 on the first wave of the 31A card backs, and comes with the blue Imperial Hoth rifle and a white vinyl cape around its waist. Although, as a kid, the cape somehow wound up on the shoulders of my figure, and I just kept them that way. Major variants come in the eyes with either a univisor or a dual visor version. Its debut card will cost around $560 today, and for a loose figure in great condition will cost around $45. Rebel Soldier Hoth Battle Gear was released in 1980 on Wave 1 of the 31B card backs, and comes with the blue Bespin blaster. Why it didn't come with the Rebel blaster, we will never know, but this was the first Rebel Army building figure to come out for the Star Wars line of toys, making fans very happy. Its debut card prices out at $250 in good condition, and a loose complete figure in good condition will run about $20. Bossk was the second of the bounty hunters to be released, the first being Boba Fett in 1979, and Bossk's debut card would get released in 1980 on Wave 1 of the 31A card backs, and comes with his unique Bossk rifle. A major variant for Bossk would be his Toxic Limbs version, which is a collector favorite. The arms are just very vibrant green. The Spanish toy company POC would release those, making those a very hard variant to get, and the prices reflect it. Loose figures are selling for as much as $4,000 for examples in great condition. Its US debut card goes for about $400 in good condition, and loose, this figure can go for $24. IG-88 is my favorite bounty hunter, and if you read the book Tales of the Bounty Hunters, you'd know why. He makes the Terminator look like a wind-up toy. IG-88 Bounty Hunter was released in 1980 on Wave 1 of the 31A US cardbacks, and comes with two accessories, a blue Imperial blaster and its unique IG-88 blue long rifle. Most variations will be in the eye mold and eye color, and its debut card today will cost around $500 for good examples, and loose figures complete will cost around $27. Luke Skywalker Bespin Fatigues would make his debut in Wave 1 of the 31B cardbacks, and comes with a blue Rebel blaster and a yellow lightsaber. This saber would be a new way that Kenner made lightsabers. That would be handheld, instead of it being a slide-out saber that was molded to fit inside of the arm. And even though we see Luke having a blue lightsaber in the movie, Kenner produced yellow sabers. Major variants come in the hair with this action figure, and its US debut card will cost around $1,000 today for a good example, and loose complete figures in great condition will cost around $65. Han Solo Hoth outfit debuted in 1980 in Wave 1 of the 31A cardbacks, and comes with the Rebel blaster. His name would change to Han Solo Hoth Battle Gear for the Return of the Jedi cardbacks in 1983. His debut card will cost $240 in good condition today, and loose complete figures are selling for $25. Lando Calrissian made his action figure debut on the 31B cardbacks in Wave 1, and comes with the blue Bespin blaster. This first version came with unpainted teeth and eyes, and by 1981 on the 41B cardbacks, this would be updated to have its eyes and teeth painted white, although you can still find both versions available on card after that. His debut card with no teeth goes for around $200 today, and a loose complete action figure goes for $24 with no significance between prices in the variants in either case. Bespin Security Guard A was released in 1980 on Wave 1 of the 31A cardbacks, and comes with his blue Bespin blaster. Collectors should look for the gold leaf on its outfit to be pristine to be considered an excellent figure, as this rubs off over the years. Its debut card will cost around $160 in good condition, and a loose complete figure will cost around $25 in great condition. Now let's get into Wave 2, and the only figure to be released in this second wave was Yoda. And Lucasfilm did this so that when the figures went out in Wave 1, slightly before the movie was released, there wouldn't be a spoiler to show you who Yoda was. And when he was finally released, he would debut in 1981 on the Kenner 32B card backs. His name would get updated to Yoda the Jedi Master for Return of the Jedi card backs in 1983. He came with a cotton-like robe, a belt, a brown cane, and at first an orange snake. But a flood of other variations came with Yoda. You can get him in a brown or green snake. The cane also came darker. His skin color also got darker on some figures, and so was the shape of his eyes, and how his robe was sewn together. Yoda has one of the most intense variant classes in the entire line, and collectors can spend a lifetime and life savings trying to get them all. I've done episodes dedicated just to this figure, but narrowing down on his debut card, this will cost you around $350 in good shape, and loose, his orange snake variant is the lowest priced at $80 for a complete version, while the brown snake comes in at $180 for an excellent figure, and the elusive green snake variant is the most expensive at $260 for a complete version in great condition. Ugnaught debuted in Wave 3 in 1981 on the US Kenner 41A card backs. He comes with a blue smock and white toolbox. His main variant is the purple smock Ugnaught, and although examples have been found on card, some collectors still hold that this is simply a color degradation and not an intended variant by Kenner. The debut card will run you around $200 today in good shape no matter what color, and the loose figure complete and in excellent shape no matter what the color will cost around $40 today. Dengar was released in Wave 3 on the 41A card backs in 1981 and comes with the long Imperial Hoth rifle. Dengar is one of the shortest human male figures in the line and has a unique body mold that makes him hard to place in vehicles or storage cases. His debut card goes for $180 in good condition, and a loose figure in great complete shape will cost around $15. Han Solo Bespin outfit was released in Wave 3 on the 1981 41A card backs and comes with the blue Bespin blaster, although collectors like to retro pair him with his Rebel blaster. His debut card will run about $350 for a good example, and loose complete figures in great shape will cost around $35. And I think this is the best looking version of Han in the entire vintage line. What do you think? Lobot was released in 1981 in Wave 3 on the 41A card backs and comes with a blue Bespin blaster. I've said it before and I'll say it again, he looks like the principal from Back to the Future.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
His debut card goes for $100 in good shape, and loose, this complete figure will cost you around $20. Leia Hoth outfit debuted in 1981 in Wave 3 on the 41A card backs and comes with the blue Leia blaster. This figure's name would change on the 47 backs to Leia Organa Hoth outfit, and then again for Return of the Jedi to Princess Leia Organa Hoth outfit on the 65 card backs. Her major variants come in the hair color, and her debut card will run about $400 for a good example, and loose complete will cost around $80. The Rebel Commander made its debut on Wave 3 of the 41A card backs in 1981 and comes with a new blaster in the Hoth Rebel Rifle. The debut card will run about $170 for a good example, and loose complete versions will cost around $20. The AT-AT driver would debut on the 41A card backs and comes with the rifle. Collectors should make sure the Empire logo on the helmet is in great shape for a nice version, and the debut card goes for prices of $325 in good condition, and loose complete versions are going for $25. And what do you say? Do you call it AT-AT or AT-AT? Let me know. One of the sleekest looking figures, in my opinion, on Wave 3, the Imperial Commander made its card back debut in 1981 on the 41A back and comes with the blue Imperial blaster. There are major variants that mostly come in the face mold and the face paint or lack thereof. And the debut card will go for around $200 today, and loose complete versions will run you $35. One of the most interesting action figures is 21B, released in 1981 on the 41A card backs in Wave 3. This figure comes with a medical staff, sometimes called the cow prod, and his face apparatus can detach off. His name would change on the 48 backs in the spelling and then again for Return of the Jedi card backs. The debut card will cost around $225 today, and the loose complete version in great shape will cost around $35. R2-D2 with sensor scope was released in the new Wave 4 offerings in 1982 on the 45A card backs. This figure would get an upgrade, and his solid dome would get a plastic sensor scope module that raised from his dome, but it would still click if you turn the head. The debut card is going to cost you around $350 to $400 for examples in good shape, and a loose figure in great shape will cost around $40. C-3PO with removable limbs made its debut in Wave 4 on the 47 card backs in 1982, and this is an upgrade from his 1978 figure. His arms and legs can come off and reattach, and he comes with a black vinyl backpack, making this only one of 2 accessories in the entire Kenner line that was meant for other characters to use. Can you name the other? His debut card will run around $220 in good condition, and for a complete loose example in great shape, it's going to cost you around $30. And that other action figure to come with an accessory meant for another figure? R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber from 1985. I lost this figure on the roof of my childhood home when I tied a parachute to him. And whenever I visit that home, I still look to see if it's come off the roof. Luke Skywalker Hoth Battle Gear debuted in 1982 on Wave 4 of the 45A card backs and comes with a Hoth Rebel rifle. But sadly, no lightsaber to battle the Wampa. His debut card will run $400 today, and loose complete versions will cost $25 in great shape. AT-AT Commander was first released in 1982 in Wave 4 of the 45A card backs, and comes with a blue Bespin blaster. His Canadian shrink-wrapped card back would be called General Veers, and his debut US Kenner card goes for prices of around $200 for one in good shape, and his loose complete figure goes for $25. Twin Pod Cloud Car Pilot debuted in 1982 in Wave 4 of the 45A card backs and comes with a unique gray communicator and pilot blaster, or what collectors call the space hair dryer. The name would change on the 48 backs and then on the Return of the Jedi cards to Cloud Car Pilot. The debut card will cost around $275 today, and a loose complete figure will cost $75, mostly because the small communicator goes for high prices on its own. That was the first thing I lost when I had this as a kid. Bespin Security Guard version B was the second Security Guard edition, and this was the version that I had as a kid. It debuted in 1982 for Wave 4 on the 45A card backs and comes with the blue Bespin blaster. And if you've ever had this figure, the pose on him is the most unique, and he looks like he is about to fire, just like in the movie. His debut Kenner card goes for $125 in good example, and a loose complete figure will cost you $30. And if you don't know who Rami and Jaws are, here you go.
Rami and Jaws, 2 Bespin security guards trying to get it right. From getting locked into lower detention levels to finding out what's really in the bantha patties, it's a buddy cop show in a galaxy far, far away. From the producers of The Fall Guy and Happy Days, Rami and Jaws, only on ABC.
Imperial TIE Fighter Pilot made its debut in Wave 5 on the 47 card backs in 1982 and comes with the gray pilot blaster, or the space hair dryer. Collectors should really be on the lookout for the Empire icons on these. For a good version, you want to make sure that these aren't rubbed off. The debut card in good shape will cost between $300 and $400 today, and a loose complete version in great condition will cost $35. Zuckuss would debut in 1982 in Wave 5 of the 48A card backs and comes with his Zuckuss blaster. And fun fact, the Brazilian Glasslight Chewbacca action figure would be paired with this blaster. The debut Kenner card will run anywhere from $300 to $500 depending on condition, and the loose complete figure will cost $28 in good condition. In 1989, Lucasfilm would finally notice that the name was wrong. And in canon, this character's name would change to Forlom in the book Galaxy Guide 3, The Empire Strikes Back. I still call them by their Kenner names, and I always will. The final action figure to be released was All Alone in Wave 6. Forlom was first released as a mail-away figure with promotions running on the 47 card backs. The debut card would come at the end of 1982 on the 48B card backs and comes with the unique Forlon blaster, a brown body armor plate, and a pleather coat introducing a new material in the Star Wars Kenner line. The debut card will cost around $300 to $400 today, and a loose complete figure will run about $30 in great condition. By the time the Return of the Jedi figures hit the shelves in 1983, Star Wars was the biggest movie franchise ever, and kids couldn't get enough of these toys, including a 6-year-old me. This run of figures included more soft goods, and no more vinyl capes in the new figures. Also, it introduces hoods and removable helmets into the mix. There are 34 action figures that were released in 3 waves from 1983 to 1984. And I'll be going over the USA Kenner releases. Let's start with Admiral Akbar, who was first available as a mail-away offer on the 1982 48B card backs of the Empire Strikes Back figures and came shipped in a generic white mailer box. Akbar would get his official card back release in 1983's Wave 1 on the 65A card back. The number 65 is the number of action figures shown on the back, and the letter A lets us know that this is the first version of this numbered card back. The 65A card backs are also famous for having the Ewoks, Logray, and Chief Chirpa blacked out, so that fans wouldn't know what the Ewoks looked like before the movie was released. Collectors call this series the Blacked Out Ewoks. Admiral Akbar comes with his unique black staff. His cardback debut goes for about $130 today for an example in good shape, and a loose complete figure in great shape will cost around $25. Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit would be released in 1983 on Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with a variety of accessories, either a blue or green saber, a gray or brown palace blaster, and a cloak that came as a pullover or as a snap-on. If you pair this with the Black Palace blaster, that's the wrong pairing, and keep that blaster because it's quite expensive. We'll talk about that in another video. Other variations in this figure come in the body mold and the head paint apps. His debut card today goes for about $800 for the blue saber variant and about $300 for the green saber variant, and those are for cards in good shape. And loose, both variants are pricing out at about $150 for complete versions in great shape. Princess Leia Organa Bouche Disguise, who debuted in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks, and comes with a removable helmet and her Bouche rifle. Her debut card goes for average prices of $300 in good condition, and a loose complete figure in great shape goes for $40 today. The Gamorrean Guard was released in 1983 on Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks, and comes with his unique axe. Its debut card goes for prices around $200 in good condition, and a loose complete figure goes for $27 in great shape. And a fun fact, the same body mold would be used for Friar Tuck for the 1991 Robin Hood Prince of Thieves action figures. Emperor's Royal Guard was released in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with its unique force pike, and a red soft goods cloak and a skirt that's attached. And you have to give Kenner props for starting to accessorize action figures with this amount of soft goods detail. Its debut card goes for around $215 for a good example, and a loose complete figure sells for $40 in great condition. Chief Chirpa debuted in 1983 on Wave 1's 65A cardbacks and comes with a rubberized hood and staff, and is famous for being one of the blacked out Ewoks on the 65A cardbacks. Its debut card goes for around $120 for good examples, and loose complete figures in great shape sell for $25. The other blacked out Ewok is Logray, Ewok Medicine Man, who debuted in 1983 on Wave 1's 65A cardback and comes with a staff, hood, and a pouch. His debut card sells for $115 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost you $25 in great condition. Clay 2 debuted in 1983 on Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with a vibro axe and a soft goods skirt. The legs and arms were molded in tan and gray and can come in 16 different combos. And the skirt can come in 4 different variations of fuzzy. Its debut card goes for $75 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will run you about $22 for an excellent example. Rebel Commando debuted in Wave 1 of the 1983 65A card backs and comes with a tan rifle. Its debut card goes for $80 in good shape, and a complete loose figure will run you about $28. Weequay debuted in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A card backs and comes with a Vibro Axe. His debut card goes for prices of $75 today in good shape, and a loose complete figure will run $20 for a great example. Squidhead debuted in 1983 on the Wave 1 65A cardbacks and comes with a gray Bespin blaster, a brown cloak, light tan skirt, and a silver belt. His debut card goes for about $100 today, and a loose complete action figure in great shape will cost you $42. General Maydeen was released in 1983 in Wave 1 on the 65A cardbacks and comes with his white staff, sometimes called the Horsewhip. The debut card will cost you about $100 for good examples, and a loose complete figure will run $27 in great shape. Bib Fortuna is one of the most interesting looking figures to me and debuted in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with his unique staff, a velveteen robe, and a silver belted chest plate. His debut card sells for about $100 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost around $25 in great shape. Reeves was one of my favorite figures as a kid, and since I didn't have a Boba Fett, this one piloted my Slave 1. He debuted in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with his gold rifle. And this same rifle was used for the Uncle Gundy action figure for the Droids line of toys. That rifle was molded in black. Collectors should make sure that his eye paint isn't rubbed off if you're looking for a pristine version of this figure. Ree's debut card sells for prices of $75 in good condition, and loose complete figures will cost $21 in great shape. Biker Scout debuted in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks and comes with the Biker Scout Blaster. Its debut card will cost around $210 for good examples, and loose complete figures will run $35 in great shape. Lando Calrissian Skiff-Guard Disguise was released in 1983 in Wave 1 of the 65A cardbacks. He comes with a Vibro Axe and a removable helmet. His debut card will cost around $95 for good examples, and a loose complete figure will cost around $25 in great shape. Nine Nub made his debut as a mail-away figure on the 48-back Return of the Jedi transition cards. They're called transition cards because only action figures that were released in the first two movies are shown, but on the Return of the Jedi branded art. His debut card will cost about $120 today in good shape, and a loose complete figure today will cost $26 in excellent shape. Nikto made his cardback debut in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks and comes with a Vibro staff. He was also available in 1983 in the Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset. His debut card will cost $75 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost $30 for a great example. 88 was first available in 1983 in the Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, and made his cardback debut in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with no accessories, making him the only carded action figure to get no accessories in the Return of the Jedi line of toys. Another would be the boxed Rancor, which we'll talk about later. 88 was also the only droid released in the Return of the Jedi line of toys. His debut card goes for $120 today in good condition, and a loose action figure will cost $18 for an excellent version. Princess Leia Organa in Combat Poncho is a special figure for me, as that was the last action figure that my mom bought me before she passed away, and that's the one that I feature in my official collection run. She made her cardback debut in 1984 on Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a removable helmet, the blue Endor blaster, a black 2-notch belt, and a soft goods camouflage poncho. Her debut card will cost around $180 for examples in good shape, and a loose complete figure will run $115 for excellent versions. Wicket W. Warwick is one of the smallest action figures in the line, next to the Jawa, and made his debut in Wave 2 of 1984's 77A cardbacks, and comes with a hood and a spear that would also be used for the Ramba action figure. The W in his name stands for Wistery, as we learned in the 1985 cartoon The Ewoks. And his last name is an homage to the actor that played Wicket, Warwick Davis. His debut card sells for $160 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost you $68 for an excellent version. The Emperor was first released in 1983 as a mail-away figure on the 65C Return of the Jedi card backs, and came in a white mailer box with his black cane. And if you have the Lily Letty version of this action figure, you got the Chief Chirpa staff in black. He would make his cardback debut in 1984 in the second wave on the 77A cardbacks. This debut card will cost $160 for good examples, and a loose complete figure will cost $25 for a great version. B-Wing Pilot was first released in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a blue Endor blaster. This is a hard action figure to find in near mint shape because of all the paint apps that get rubbed off, especially on his chest. So when you're looking for one, make sure you have reference photos of ones in mint condition. Its debut card will cost you $115 for a good version, and a loose complete figure will run $65 for excellent examples. Clay 2 in Skiff Guard outfit debuted in 1983 in the Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, but would make his cardback release in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks. He comes with a Force Pike. The debut card will cost $90 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost around $30 for great looking versions. And in the movie, this character was played by Billy D. Williams' son, Corey Williams. Han Solo Trenchcoat made his debut in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a black Rebel blaster and a camo canvas trenchcoat. The two main variants come in the coat itself, with one having a camel lapel or a plain tan lapel. His debut card will cost $160 for a good example, and loose complete figures, no matter what the variant, are going for $60 for great versions. Tebow debuted in 1984 in the second wave of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a horn that has a strap, a headdress, and a spear. The debut card will cost you around $100 in good shape, and a loose complete version will cost $33 for an excellent figure. Pruneface made his cardback debut in 1984 on Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a soft goods cloak and a brown rifle. In canon, this character's name is Ori Marco, and he was a member of the Rebels version of the Special Forces or the CIA. When collecting this figure, look closely at the rifle strap and make sure it isn't broken. The debut card will cost $100 in good shape, and a loose complete figure is going for $50 for an excellent version. AT-ST Driver made its debut on the 77A cardback in 1984 in Wave 2 and comes with the blue Endor blaster. The debut card goes for $130 in good shape, and its loose complete figure is pricing out at $70 for a great example. And a fun fact, the actor who played this character in the movie was actually Return of the Jedi director Richard Marquand. The Rancor Keeper made its debut in 1984 in Wave 2 of the 77A cardbacks, and comes with a gray gaffy stick and a hood. Its debut card is pricing out at $80 on average for a good example, and a loose complete figure is going for $45 in great shape. And didn't the Rancor Keeper have the best scene in the movie? Lumat came out in Wave 3 in 1984 on the 79C cardbacks, and comes with a hood, brown bow, and a strapped quiver. This figure is commonly mistaken as debuting on the Power of the Force line of action figures that came out in 1985. The debut card will cost $170 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost $140 in excellent condition, primarily due to the fact that this figure was made in low amounts for the Return of the Jedi, and that collectors lump this into the Power of the Force figures and that mystique of the last 17 action figures made. The final carded action figure, Paplu, made its debut in 1984 on Wave 3 of the 79C cardbacks, and comes with a hood and a staff. The debut card goes for prices of $200 in good shape, and a loose complete figure will cost $110 in excellent condition. And just like Lumat, this figure is often mistaken as debuting in the Power of the Force line of toys. By the time the Power of the Force toys hit the shelves in 1985, there were no more plans for Star Wars movies, making these figures a bit lackluster for kids and fans especially, since there was so much competition from other popular toy lines like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and He-Man. And all these toys had weekly cartoons and comic books that were constantly reminding the kids and parents that these new toys were on the shelves. But for the Star Wars Kenner line, to get the parents and kids excited, the figures included collector's coins, which come to a total of 62. Even though 37 cardbacks were released on the new Power of the Force cardbacks, including the new figures, there are 92 figures shown on the back. Most of the coins were offered as mail-away prizes and were never paired with carded figures. This was because by 1986, sales for the Star Wars toys took a major dive, forcing toy stores to limit toy shelf space for the Star Wars line in favor for the competition that was selling better. And with that, Star Wars faded into the distance, and in 1986, Kenner officially ended the Star Wars toy line until Hasbro reinvigorated the line almost 10 years later. There were 15 new action figures that were released in 1985, and I'll be going over the USA Kenner releases and their coins. Starting with Anakin Skywalker, who was officially released a year earlier in 1984 as a mail-away offer on the 79 Return of the Jedi cardbacks, and came in a plain white mailer box. This figure comes with no accessories. It made its cardback debut on the 1985 Power of the Force cardbacks. And today, that debut card goes for prices around $3,000. And loose examples are going for $35 in great condition, and this is the most affordable action figure in the Power of the Force line. Since this figure's cardback was only distributed in limited amounts, its coin is very rare to find. Today, it's going to cost you around $350 to $400 for coins in great shape. Amanda Man was officially released in 1984 in the Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, but would get his official Power of the Force cardback release in 1985. This figure comes with a staff that depicts all its victims on it, a collector's coin, and it's one of the biggest action figures in the vintage Star Wars line. The cardback will cost you around $530 for an example in good shape. And a loose complete figure will cost $280 for an excellent version. When collecting this figure, make sure that the staff is straight to be considered mint as possible, as most of these that you're going to find in the wild will be warped and bent. The coin will cost around $45 for an excellent example. Barada was officially released in the 1984 Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, and would get his Power of the Force cardback debut in 1985. He comes with a skiff guard staff and a collector's coin. The debut card will cost around $270 for a good example, and a loose complete figure will cost $175 for great versions. The coin is running at prices at $40 for one in great shape. EV-99 was introduced in the 1984 Sears exclusive Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset, and would get its cardback debut in 1985 in the Power of the Force. This figure comes with no accessories, but a cool feature is the jaw, which moves by using the lever in the back of its head. The cardback price today goes for $525, and the loose figure will cost $345 for a figure in great shape, and that the arms and legs are straight and not bowed out or broken as many examples are found today. The coin will cost $65 today for a nice looking example. R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber updates the dome from the sensor scope version in 1982 and now features a green lightsaber that pops out of the dome with a few clicks of the head. Alone, either the figure or the lightsaber can go for very high dollars, so it's best to buy this figure complete and not piece by piece. The cardback goes for prices around $1,000 today for versions in good shape, and a loose complete figure in excellent condition will cost $585, with the coin costing $60 for a great version. This is the second action figure having an accessory meant for another action figure to use. The other, C-3PO with removable limbs that comes with a vinyl backpack meant for another action figure to use. The A-Wing pilot comes with a black Endor blaster, and this figure's silver paint apps on its chest and eyebrows, they tend to rub off. So look for that if you're on the hunt for one. The cardback will cost $450 for good versions, and a loose complete example in excellent shape will cost averages of $300, with the coin running prices of $33 today. Han Solo in Carbonite Chamber, as the name says, comes with a carbonite chamber that the action figure fits in and no other accessories. And this would be the biggest accessory packed with a carded action figure in the entire line. On card, this figure will cost $600 today in good shape, and a loose complete example will run $230 in excellent condition, with the coin costing $50. Imperial Dignitary only had a brief appearance in The Return of the Jedi, but we got the action figure. Sometimes called the Space Pope, this figure comes with no accessories. Its Kenner card back will cost $265 for a version in good shape. For a loose figure, make sure its nose paint isn't rubbed off, and in great condition, this figure will cost $160 today, with its coin running $42. Imperial Gunner is one of the best looking figures in my opinion, and comes with the L-back Black Endor Blaster specifically. So when you collect this figure, make sure of that. Its card back will cost $500 today in good shape, and loose and complete versions with the correct blaster will cost $340 in excellent condition, with the coin coming in at $30 in great shape. Lando Calrissian General Pilot comes with a soft goods cape and the Black Palace Blaster. This Black Palace Blaster costs a lot on its own, so to get this figure complete is suggested. Make sure that the hair paint app isn't rubbed off as well. The card back will cost around $400 in good shape, and a loose complete figure in excellent condition will run you about $290 today, with its coin going for prices of $40. Luke Skywalker Imperial Stormtrooper outfit comes with a removable helmet and the Black Imperial Blaster. Carded, this will cost $1,250 for a version in good shape, and a complete loose figure will run $400 for an excellent version, with the coin costing about $65. There are two variants of this coin, one with the eyes and one without. Both cost about the same. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This figure looks exactly like John Denver. Once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Thank God I'm a country boy.
Luke Skywalker in Battle Poncho comes with a soft goods poncho and a Black Palace Blaster, which is very expensive on its own. But shockingly, no lightsaber and no removable helmet, although this does come with a black belt. For this figure, make sure that the soft goods poncho is not frayed or torn, and that the Black Palace Blaster is nice and straight. Carded, this figure will cost around $500 in good shape, while a loose complete figure will run $325, and the coin will cost around $40. Ramba made his cardback debut in 1985 and comes with a hood and the same spear that Wicket uses. His cardback will go for prices of about $230 in good shape, with a loose complete figure costing $190 and its coin coming in at $35. Warwick comes with a hood, bow, and a quiver, and its cardback goes for prices of around $340 in good condition, while complete loose figures run at $300 in great shape, and the coin will cost $30 today. The final action figure is Yak Face, probably one of the most sought after figures in the entire vintage Star Wars line. This was because it had a very limited run, with its Power of the Force card only being released in Canada and Australia, and in Europe it was available in the Tri-Logo Return of the Jedi cardbacks, but did not come with his skiff guard staff like other carded releases, and this limited release reflects in the prices. The carded Power of the Force figure will run anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 depending on condition, and the Tri-Logo card will cost around $2,500 to $3,000 in good condition. And loose, either with or without the staff, is averaging in prices of $550. For a loose figure, make sure that the paint hasn't rubbed off, especially on the hands, to consider this a mint figure. Make sure to look at the reference photos that show mint examples before you try to buy this figure. The coin can also be expensive on its own and costs averages of $750 to $1,000 depending on condition. So you priced out all your vintage Star Wars action figures and all the variants, but you're not done. Let's find out what figures like the Wampa, Dewback, and even the Trash Monster are going for in 2024. Some you may agree with, and some you may not. So if you like watching videos on vintage and modern action figure collecting, like this video and hit that subscribe button. I will be going over the USA Kenner releases. Let's start at the beginning in 1978 and go in chronological order. And we're going to start with the Death Star Space Station. This was a playset that had 4 levels of play, and on the bottom level was the orange plastic trash compactor that came with the Dianoga trash monster. In the movie, we never got to see the full character, but Kenner had to imagine what this creature looked like. It was sculpted by Stephen Geddes, and I had the pleasure of interviewing him, and this is what he gave us. It's not big at all, fitting in the palm of your hand. It's not hard plastic, but it feels like rubber. There is no articulation in this figure, no paint apps, so I can see why some collectors call this an accessory and not a figure. Right now, they're selling on their own for averages of $60 in great shape. And a playset mint in sealed box will cost an estimated $10,000 in great shape, as these are rare to find in this condition ungraded. The next figure is one of the most popular variants in the entire Kenner line, the Blue Snaggletooth. Although I don't really see this as a variant or an error, I see this as a playset exclusive figure. It came with the 1978 Cantina Adventure Set, which was a Sears exclusive, with 3 other action figures featured in the Cantina scene in A New Hope. You could have also gotten the Blue Snaggletooth in a 2-pack from the Sears Holiday Catalog in 1978, and both this pack and the Cantina Adventure Set figures were replaced by the smaller and redder Snaggletooth action figure. The reason why the mistake was made was that Kenner got a black and white reference photo, so they made the figure blue and tall. They even gave him great 70s space boots. The updated figure was short, red, and had furry feet. This figure comes with the blue-black Rebel Blaster. The Blue Snaggletooth figure comes with a dent in the right foot, which some say is a flaw in the mold, as other figures made in later runs don't have this dent. So it may be a factory mold error, where residue found itself in the metallic mold and had an imperfection in it. Today, a loose, dented Blue Snaggletooth in great condition will run you averages of $515. A non-dent will run you about $425. With a mint in box Cantina Adventure Set costing you well into the $5,000 to $10,000 range depending on condition. Those are just rare to find. The Patrol Dewback was released in 1979, and yes, I consider the Dewback as an action figure. It's a figure, and it's got action. It's articulated. It's a figure in my book. Do you agree with me? The Patrol Dewback came with a spring-loaded latch to have a figure right inside, a brown saddle and reins, which these days come broken. So when buying this online, ask about that. Also, sellers will try to repair these reins and not tell you. So ask about that as well if you're buying online. Right now, loose and complete, they're selling for average prices of $80. Just make sure that the reins aren't broken. And right now, mint and sealed box examples are selling for an estimated $1,500. The Droid Factory was released in 1979 and came with a bunch of parts that you could use to make droids. Honestly, I think it's one of the best toys to come out in the entire vintage Kenner line. The best part was that you could make an R2 unit that came with a third leg. And you can find these loose selling in the wild for average prices of $100 for good versions. And mint and sealed boxes of the debut box, ungraded, will cost an estimated $2,000 to $3,000 in good shape. The Closed Belly Tauntaun was first released in 1980 for the Empire Strikes Back line of toys, and came with a saddle, reins which, again, always break, as well as a compartment to place your figures in to ride. There is articulation in the arms and legs, but not the head. You can find them today loose and complete with unbroken reins and saddles for average prices of $52. And mint and sealed boxes are going for an estimated $300 for the debut box. The Turret and Probot playset came out in 1981 for the Empire Strikes Back wave of toys, and just as the name suggests, the Probot was one of the main features of this toy. Now, why didn't they call it the Probe Droid? I don't know. Maybe the marketing department over at Kenner wanted to stay away from calling any toy a probe. But yeah, I do think this fits really well into a collection of loose Star Wars action figures. And this could have sold well on its own. The head is articulated, and all of its arms. And right now, you can find the figure alone for prices averaging $30 to $40. And a mint and sealed box playset will cost an estimated $800 in good shape for the debut box. This next one may be a stretch, but let's include it. The Han Solo in Carbonite from Slave One. Slave One was released in 1981 for the Empire Strikes Back wave of toys, and when I had this Han in Carbonite, I actually kept it under Jabba's throne and not Slave One. Right now, you can buy one for $40 loose with all the stickers intact. And a mint and sealed box, Slave 1, is going for estimated prices of $2,000 to $2,500 for the debut box in good shape. In 1982, the open-belly Tauntaun was introduced. It came with the same features as the 1980 version, except this time, you can place action figures in the open slit on the belly to reenact the scene where Han saves Luke by stuffing him into the dead Tauntaun. Morbid, I know, but hey, that's survival, right? Right now, you can buy complete loose versions for average prices of $80. Again, just watch out for those broken reins. And a mint and sealed box is going for estimated prices of $450 for the debut box. The Wampa was released in 1982 for the Empire Strikes Back line of toys. This figure only has articulation in the legs and the arms and comes with no accessories, although a Tauntaun leg would have been an epic accessory. Right now, loose versions complete and in excellent shape are going for $30, and mint and sealed boxes are going for estimations of $200 for the debut box. The Jabba the Hutt action playset was released in 1983, and this comes with one of the coolest figures of all time, Jabba the Hutt. This is a perfect rendition of him. The detail in the mold and the paint apps is perfect. The face is spot on, and the eyes are perfection. And if you have any of the Hasbro versions of this and are a true collector, you are going to have this in your collection. This figure has articulation in the head, arms, and the tail. Right now, a loose figure in great shape averages $25, and a mint and sealed box playset will cost $375 for the debut box. And how can I forget Salacious Crumb, who also comes in this set? It has articulation in the tail and the tail only, but the detail on this little guy is pretty good in my opinion. You can find loose and standalone figures for average prices of $10 for a great looking version. And even ones in sealed Kenner baggies in great shape go for $20 to $30. The Rancor monster was released in 1984 for the Return of the Jedi line of toys. If you consider this an action figure, then it's the biggest one made in the vintage line. And this is another one that shows off the level of detail and engineering that Kenner was getting so good at towards the end of the Star Wars line. The body mold and design is great. The face detail is great. The articulation is great. Even though this came with no accessories or extra action figures. This could have come with a big bone, an Ula, or a Gamorrean guard. Right now, you can buy a loose Rancor in excellent condition for average prices of $90. And mint and sealed box, it's going to cost you $380 today for the debut box in good shape. Cy Snoodles and the Rebo Band was released in 1984, and it's the only retail action figure set by Kenner that wasn't a repack of already carded figures. This came with 3 action figures: Cy Snoodles, that comes with her plastic skirt and microphone, Droopy McCool, that comes with his clarinet-like horn, and Max Rebo, that comes with his keyboard and microphone. Now for this one, here's a rule. If Droopy's horn is black, then the mics have to be silver. If the horn is silver, then the mics have to be black. Right now, you can buy loose complete versions of the band in excellent condition for average prices of $220, and that is with a very blue Max Rebo, as it's always harder to find Kenner versions without the faded blue arms. The Lily Letty Mexico versions tend to always have non-faded blue arms. Mint and sealed box versions will be about $315 in good shape. If you stuck around to watch all of these, you, my friend, are a true vintage action figure lover. Please give this video a like, and if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so for more vintage action figure content. And as a thank you, type in #vintage if you want a shot at winning this hat. You have until October 31st, 2024 to enter. And to watch more videos that you might like, click the options on your screen now. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time.